While Venerable Children was in Madison taking teachings, we residents were doing the Bodhisattva breakfast corners, and we did a series on the afflictive emotions and the antidotes and how we work with them. So mine was the last one on the list, and we didn't get to it because Venerable Children was ready to talk when she got home, which was great. But the topic was pride. So since it came up yesterday, I thought I might just go back and do that talk, picking up the afflictive emotions. And sort of an interesting irony is that because the schedule got flipped and I was making lunch today and I wasn't planning to do anything in the order that it got done today, la 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 la. And so nothing that I made actually has turned out the way that I planned. So watching my pride come up all morning as I've been making lunch has been interesting in preparation for this little talk. So as we talked yesterday, or maybe it became apparent that pride is just like this huge obstacle to creating virtue, really enormous. And the teachings often say, but now I'm kind of quoting from Panchen Losho Rinpoche, who says, of all the negative emotions, pride and jealousy are the most difficult to recognize. And so I think that's also true. People kind of think, well, I don't really have, you know, I'm not so proud. Actually, I feel kind of like worthless. So how could I possibly have any pride? It's not my problem. I'll deal with something else. He says, therefore, examine your own mind minutely. This is Panchen Losho Rinpoche's definition. Any feeling that there is something even the least bit special about your own qualities, whether worldly or spiritual, will make you blind to your own faults and unaware of others' good qualities. So to renounce pride, he goes on and take a low position. So that's pretty broad. Even the least bit special about your own qualities, whether worldly or spiritual. So it doesn't mean that we don't acknowledge the good qualities that we have. I mean, we have them, and it's actually important to recognize them and know them so that we can continue to nurture them, really, and help them grow. So it's tricky, but it's a looking at these special things about us with an inflated view. Being full of yourself, right, is one way we talk about it. The technical definition of pride, it is a distinct mental factor that, based upon the view of the personal identity, grasps at either an inherently existent I or an inherently existent mind. Looking at our body and mind, we grasp an I and believe in it. That's pretty darn subtle. And so we all have that. We all have that. And it makes me think there is a lyric from the musical La Cage aux Folles, where the protagonist stands up and he begins this thing, I am what I am my own special creation. That's how the song begins, right? Don't we all have that? I am what I am my own special creation. Even, this may be a little bit crass, but what comes to mind is, you've ever hung out with a baby, like a toddler, and I'm not sure they can still do this with the way diapers are made now, but they kind of mess in their pants and then they do a little mural on the bed. And every time I've seen a baby do this, they are so proud of that act. It's so like, wow, look what I did. So, you know, this is like this innate grasping at our own special creation nest. And we really have that. So, and then the worst of it, I mean, the kind of the reverse of that is that we don't really recognize that if we didn't have this I am what I am, if we didn't have that, then what's that's covering up? This other belief that I'm nothing, I'm useless, I'm a big hole, I'm a big disaster. And so the more we can puff up this I am what I am, I'm my own special creation, look what I did on the crib, whoa, that covers up our feeling actually of being kind of worthless or maybe even non-existent. I'm not sure about that part, but it kind of feels that way in my own body. So what's the harm? Pride is the comparing mind that looks around and competes with the people around us, trying to get better. Pride is the mind that makes us unable to respect either our superiors or anybody. Pride is the mind that really does that. Pride is the mind, as I said, that prevents all virtue. It prevents us from learning because we already know everything. It's a mind of contempt. The mind that says, I would never do that. I will never be like that. Whoa, look at that. That's shameful. I'm not like that. I mean, it completely obscures our possibility of seeing the other people, other person as a sentient being. And so, of course, then it completely obscures our capacity to recognize our sameness and recognize our potential. And so, what does it do with our compassion? Non-existent. How could we have it? Because we're in contempt of everybody. So it's a painful mind, and we all have our own various versions of it. They talk about 7 different types of pride, which I think are very useful to study. And it's too long to really go into in a little BBC Bodhisattva Breakfast Corner talk. But looking at things that distinctly have this self-effacing one, I'm the worst, really learning to recognize that that's a pride is also useful. I mean, if I'm the best, that's one thing, but if I'm the worst, then I also believe that I created all of this. I created this huge disaster, look at me. Or the kind of pride that rejoices in being rotten. I cheated that guy and got away with it. I'm successful. So it's not just the puffed up, overblown kind of pride that we think of. There's many, many shades and well worth studying. So what do we do about it? Well, it's hard, I think. It's really hard to work with. So recognizing it and really looking at the subtle manifestations and how it works in our mind is the first most important aspect. One of the antidotes that they talk about is think of a very, very difficult topic and then you realize that you don't know very much. And for me, I'm just putting it out there because that's what the books say. It doesn't work at all. It's like, oh yeah, I don't know anything, but look, I'm proud about this. But what does help very much, that's one of the traditional antidotes, is to think about where did all these things that we're so proud about come from? Not a single solitary thing that I know, a single solitary thing that I have came from, it all came from somebody else. It came from the kindness of somebody else. Everything I know, somebody taught me. Even though I can say, oh yeah, I came in with this talent, la la la. I mean, even then, if that's true, if you really came in painting magnificent paintings from, 3 months old, and some people have, then somewhere in a past life, somebody taught you. And you're coming in with that. So it's not just this life's teachers that we can thank. If there's things about our physical body or our physical, I don't look so old. Well, those are your genes. That has nothing to do with you. What about I feel I'm really super athletic or I'm super strong? So that's also your body to start with. That you have a body that has the capacity to do that, and then somebody trained you. Somebody took you to the gym, somebody started you in football practice, whatever that was. So we can trace back anything, even to being proud about, I was thinking about this, being proud about being a monastic. I don't know a single Western monastic, I don't know about Asians, who will say, yes, I had the merit to ordain based on my behavior in this life. I don't know a single one. This is past life merit. Somebody else made that merit. And so this is something we can be thankful for. And to really acknowledge the gratitude for all the things that we have that we can be proud about. Another antidote that I find very helpful is looking at the equalizing, exchanging self and others meditations and reflections. Really looking at the just like me. This person is just like me. They want to be happy. They want to be free from suffering. They are dealing with afflictions just like me. They have the Buddha potential just like me. That just like me part in that particular meditation, as we do it through the day and night, also I think really equalizes the thing about our pride. And then finally, I find it very effective to think about what are the causes I'm creating for myself in the future. Especially in terms of respect for the spiritual mentor, but in respect for all kinds of people. If I'm too proud to receive admonition, if I'm too proud to learn from anybody, what kind of causes am I creating for my capacity or even my opportunity to learn in the future? Zip, zip, zip. So all of these are ways of thinking that as we begin to recognize our pride, recognize just like me, we all have it. We all have it. I'm not the worst. I'm not the only one. I'm not the most proud. I'm not my own special creation. And really apply our minds to overcoming this most insidious, I think, of the afflictions, in order to be able to fulfill our highest aspirations, which are to take the opportunities that we have, especially here in this room, that we have right now, to train and study and develop our good qualities for liberation and for enlightenment.